Welcome to Grub with Gruber, the show where I dish with amazing people over amazing dishes. And today I'm here in my home country of the Dominican Republic at a place called Terra Negra, a Mexican food joint here in Punta Cana that serves some top-notch tacos. And today, while taking you course by course by course, I sat down with a friend of mine, Cheryl Henderson, the #1 realtor in all of the Dominican Republic. And she and I got into some really interesting topics like AI, whether kids can have a future in the Dominican Republic, the next phase for Punta Cana, as well as Miches and all the work she's doing there to build literally a community in the next up-and-coming Caribbean hub. Thanks to Terra Negra for hosting us, and let's dive into Grub with Gruber. You've been here almost 20 years.
Yes.
I'm assuming you've gone through your, trust downfalls living here. Can you give me a couple examples?
Trust downfalls?
Some scams, maybe. Sometimes you were taken advantage of. A couple examples of that.
Yeah, I stepped into some poop. Well, really, when I first got here 20 years ago, there wasn't really much here, and there was risk doing business because there weren't a lot of rules and regulations. Of course, now the government is putting a lot of rules in place, which are good. I mean, sometimes you think, no, it's not good to have rules and it's good to have like the wild, wild west, but in some cases it's good, especially when it comes to protecting the consumer. Yeah. For example, back when I first moved here, you could walk into a bank and with the ID and a couple $100, you walk out with a bank account. Now you cannot do that. And that actually is one of the things that people say is a little bit complicated about being here, because now you have to go in, you have to give them your ID, they have to check everything through Interpol, you have to go back after a week after they've checked everything and then get your bank account.
That's just what, for anti-trafficking, drug trafficking, laundering, all of that good stuff.
Money laundering.
So it's funny, like I've said that, like banking here is a pain in the butt, but you're saying it's actually that way to increase the credibility and trust in the country.
Absolutely.
I never thought of that.
Like when I first got here, you could walk into a bank and walk out. Like I think nowadays in the States, you can still do it like that. Yeah. But here it's different. So many things have changed. Even how you buy a property now. It used to be however the money got to the seller was fine, because at the end of the day, you write a final contract and pay the transfer taxes, take the title to the title office. With those three things, title transferred. No questions asked. Now, actually a couple of years ago, they said that you couldn't do bartering. For example, where people used to say, here, take a couple of cows, you take this land, you actually cannot do business like that because the banks want to see some kind of an economic exchange. Right. And just recently, just a couple of months ago, they changed it again. So now, not only does the money have to come through the bank, but it has to come from the name, the bank account with the name of the person whose name will be on the new title. And so we've had people that are like, yeah, I'm buying this property, but my cousin's going to send some money, my mom is going to send some money, and as long as we got all the money, we sign the final contract. Now we have to actually submit to the IRS receipts.
The IRS or the Dominican IRS?
The Dominican IRS.
Got you.
DGII, but it's the Dominican IRS.
Great. Yeah.
You have to submit the contract and the title and the money for the transfer tax and every single payment receipt.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So things are really changing here. Yeah. And the idea is to protect people, although it can make doing business a little bit more tedious. But at the end of the day, it's like 6 one way, half a dozen the other. Yeah. Like, back in the day, I got scammed. I bought properties that I never got. I lost a vehicle. We talked about that in the last episode. So many things that happened to me that I had to survive through and just keep going with.
That's interesting. What makes you? Because I talk to a lot of people and they're like, it's almost as if, let me take it a step back. A lot of people are moving here.
Yeah.
A lot of people are moving here. And it's becoming more and more prevalent as I meet people. I think I said this before. A year, 2 years ago, if I met 10 people, 3 of them moved here, the other 7 were visiting. Yes. Now it's almost flipped.
Yes.
Most have moved here and then the other few are visiting, if you will. So a lot of people are moving here. And it feels like those that are on the fence, aren't sure, thinking about it, their biggest concern seems to be, I'm gonna get taken, and that's a death knell for me. Like, I'm gonna get taken, and that scares me, because if I get taken, that means I can't stay there. I can't exist there. Yeah. You've been taken.
Yeah, we get taken every day. People at home get taken. Look, if you're thinking about that, you probably got taken within the last 24 hours.
True.
But we feel, maybe in the States, we feel that it's okay, or we're numb to it, but things happen all the time.
Yeah.
I think that when people think about Dominican Republic or a foreign country, they're just much more sensitive, more hypersensitive to things that might not bother in the United States. So I think we do get a little hypersensitive, but it's because maybe we're out of our comfort zone. Maybe people can't speak the language. So it makes you a little bit more sensitive.
That's true. What's made you stay through, though? What's made you say, hey, you know what, I got screwed a few times, but I'm going to power through? Because you've had success.
Yes, I have, because I just have never thrown in the towel. I just never threw in the towel. And I think that for me, when I always sat down, and this hasn't happened to me in a while, but, it took me a while to be sure that I wanted to stay here, was... where would I want to go? Like, I would sit down and be like, well, I came from Philly. I don't want to go back to Philly.
Right.
I grew up, kind of spent some time growing up in the Pacific Northwest in Tacoma, Washington, but I don't have anybody there. I went to school in St. Louis, but, summers are too hot and the winters are too cold.
Yeah, it's true.
So I was just like, where would I want to go? And when I moved here, I decided to move here. So I just, was like, until there's someplace that I would really want to go that would make me say, then I might as well stay.
What about for you? You've been here so long, you've been doing business here so long, most of your adult life at this point. Are you sensitive or aware or tuned in? Like, is your instinct American? And as far as, like you said, the people that are coming here, even if they're Dominican, but they want to buy here, they've lived in the United States, they're if something doesn't go quite the right way or something seems a little off, it's like, oh my God, I'm getting scammed. Money's being taken away from me.
Yeah.
Is your instinct American, kind of like you tune in or tap into that concern, or is your instinct more Dominican, where you're sort of like, hey, tranquilo, take it easy? Like, where are you on that spectrum?
I'm a great combination.
You're right in the middle?
Yeah, it depends on the situation, because I am American.
Sure.
Right? I'm American. Everybody knows I'm American, but I've lived here a long, long time. So I think for me, just less of an edge, less of that nervous edge.
Does that hurt you then with American buyers?
That
like if they are right, correct. If they, like that, you may not be as tuned in sensitively to them.
I try to focus on it, because sometimes I know that I'm more influenced culturally by the Dominican culture. So I do have to be careful sometimes what I see, what I say, how I act. Like, for example, sometimes I can be like a little sarcastic with people in Spanish, but joking.
Yeah.
And I notice sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, like, is she being rude? But I'm just joking with people.
Right.
Like for example, the security person, and I'm like, smile if they're like being really serious. And then they start smiling, and then people are like, oh my God. But that's just me being me and being friendly and understanding that I'm not offending somebody, because Dominicans don't really get offended as much as Americans can be, because sometimes we're just oversensitized. Like, sometimes I even joke with Americans about something, and they're just like, and I'm like, that's funny. I know you think it's funny, but you don't want to laugh because you think that maybe you're not being politically correct. So I have to be careful and understand that it's just a different culture. So in some ways, even working with Americans, I have to understand that there's a culture there that is a little bit different from me.
Well, yeah, it's funny. Like, it was coming to my mind on this is I'm probably, if you look at the spectrum, I'm closer to the American, obviously, for three and a half years here, right? So like, I'm sliding a little bit. I'm becoming more, but recently the Legacy Miches, which if people aren't familiar, Legacy Miches is this big project that Cheryl with her company Boardwalk Developments recently launched, selling many lots of land. It's a really cool thing. We'll put some information down in the description if you want to check out more about that. But I'm an investor in Legacy Miches, right? I have a plot of land there. And when we went through and talked to a group of people in my DR inner circle, again, link below, you know, a lot of them were like, whoa, there's this legal fee and there's this other thing or whatever. And then you just sort of said, okay, yeah, kind of how it works here. However, with the new pricing, I think you were able to like do things. Can you talk through like your reaction to the sensitivity to make sure that Americans feel more comfortable, if you will?
Yes. And for me, I didn't really, I wasn't as sensitive to that sensitivity because I understand that there are always closing costs and there are always closing fees. But for some reason, it was a sensitive point for them to pay the legal fee.
I think what it is like, it's not so much like, so here's an example. When I owned my home in Michigan, which we sold recently, I always tell the story. The first tenant we had was in there. We found her in a Facebook group. A friend of mine said, hey, I know you're moving. I don't know if you found somebody on Airbnb yet, but this person said this. And I read it and they're like, hey, we're moving to your town. It was Brighton, Michigan. We're moving to that town. The house that we're having built isn't ready yet. It was supposed to be, but it's not. We need 1 month. And we're like, oh, perfect first tenant. She moved in for 1 month, became 2 months, became 3 months, right? So delayed construction delivery.
It happens.
It happens in the United States. It happens here.
Yes.
However, for an American, when it happens here, and I get this, right? It's so far away. It's another country. It's like entering into a vortex.
Yes.
I think it's like, I know that there's legal fees and legal costs that I would pay here, but there, if it's any different, or if there's one thing not communicated, you know, or that is assumed, it's like, whoa, what else? And what else you screw me on?
I definitely understand that. And that's why I like going and talking with the inner circle. Yeah. I take the questions, they shoot them at me, and I'm like, you know, sometimes I'm like, listen.
Every 4 to 6 weeks, it's poor woman.
At the end, it's like, okay. Because really, I think it's just information, it's just communication. And we have to understand that there's going to be a more heightened level of awareness of the details. Like, for example, in the States, there are shootings all the time. We're not sensitive to something like that.
Right.
But folks believe that they're in danger to come to the Dominican Republic, and we don't have school shootings.
Right.
So these are the kind of things that maybe folks aren't really thinking about. But as far as selling the properties, if there are questions, we answer them. So I always like to be open with communication, very transparent, even vulnerable. It's okay. If you don't like it, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you how it is. My story is not going to change. It is what it is. It's the truth. If you want to know, great. And that's what I like to do, because communication is key. And a lot of times, folks just need a little bit of clarity.
Sure.
You know, I didn't understand how it works, but now I understand how it works, you know, so we explain that. And things sometimes change along the way. So then we come back and say, guess what? We had a little bit of a detour or this or that, like delayed permits. We're dealing with that. Everybody's dealing with that. The institutions are super slow. They're slow, they're fast, they're slow, and we have to deal with that. If we say we think it's going to be 9 months, it could be a year. And so we communicate, and so far that has worked out for us.
Oh, it's perfect break time. Look at this.
Tacos. Hola.
Goodness, that's a lot of tacos.
Oh, that's good. Shrimp.
Wow.
Yeah. What do you have?
Beef. We can trade one if you like.
I want to try one of yours.
Oh, ¿qué es? ¿Qué es eso?
Gracias.
¿Es eso?
Sí.
¿Qué es? Okay.
Sí.
Perfecto. Gracias.
Sí.
All right, take one of these so you have it.
Okay,
Put it on
I'll
your
take
plate.
one of the little ones. There are no little ones.
No, I think they're all about the same size here. Little spritz of lime. Oh, that sauce smells good. Yeah. Yes. Look.
Great. I tell you, Jamie, actually mentioning scams, not to belabor the subject, but I know a lot of people are concerned and worried about it. And what I would always say is, you know, make sure you're working with a referred professional. You know, sometimes I've had people come to me and they're like, I found this lawyer on the internet, and, you know, they're really cheap. They're less than your lawyer. But then I ask, you're spending, you know, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. And don't cut corners on your lawyer. And make sure that they're working with referred professionals. So ask somebody who knows somebody like you. Perfect. Like, go to Jamie for your professionals, because you're here on the ground.
Yeah.
You're meeting people, you're vetting them, you're asking the right questions. And I know that you're not recommending everybody you've met.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So you do have that gut to say, hey, I'm going to refer you, or, kind of stay away from some of the other people. So I would definitely recommend that.
When somebody gets a little too tigaraje, it doesn't work for me, so I know it won't work for somebody watching, right?
Exactly.
When somebody's a little too like of a hustler, it's like, you got to tone that down. Like, this sort of like the angles on everything.
And they're out there.
A ton.
They're out there, and some you can see and some you cannot.
They meet me and they'll say things like, I got the best deal. I can do a best deal for you. I'm like, that's not about a deal. Like, I want to make sure like my reputation is everything, right? If I'm a personal brand, this is what I do.
Yes.
Reputation is everything. I mean, we have this conversation. I gave you my fears. I was explaining to her one that I woke up in this panic, like, oh my God, what if this happened? And then what if this happened? And then I had to go to her and be like, can you walk through exactly what Boardwalk does on these things? Like my own brain gets into right. But reputation is huge. So
it's very important.
No, I agree. And it's funny, I just the other day somebody messaged me and said something like, love your content, but your lawyer charges too much. And I'm like, okay. I mean, too much for what exactly? Like, I don't know.
To save you, to advise you, to help you avoid a big problem.
That's the thing. I've almost stepped in it so many times, except for him, or even you, right? Like, except for somebody who knows what they're doing. Like, I don't know. I think there's an inflection point right now, depending on what part of the country you're like. There's a chunk of this country that is sort of, we'll say, like dollarized. Yes. And the people moving back here are dollarized. Most of the people moving here, I just talked to another developer. And he said, we have a lot of people from Spain that are buying and moving. And then we have a lot of people from the United States and Canada. He goes, but 80% of them are Dominican.
Yes.
So we're not at a point of just like white American dude or black American family moves down here by themselves in mass.
Right.
It's mostly people that are Dominican, maybe Latin American, that are moving here, right? That kind of go with the culture. So we're at this point.
Moving maybe, but not so much investing.
True.
Because the investments have come mainly from the United States, Canada, those countries for a long time. And not only Dominicans, but we're seeing now a movement here, which is really good. Folks not only investing for the income, but moving to live here with their families, which is really great.
Yeah, it is great. It is great.
We're seeing veterans too.
Yeah, no, veterans are becoming a big thing here. I was talking to Brian the other day about some of the things he's doing here, which are really fascinating.
Yes. Can I make an announcement?
It's up to you. That's up to you.
Okay, so this was just yesterday, actually, literally yesterday, that we got authorized to open an American Legion here in, post 809. Here in Punta Cana, and the name we just got confirmed yesterday that Colin Powell's family agreed that we would name the American Legion Post. Yes, Colin Powell.
I saw Brian. Should I eat the third one? Hell with it. I'm eating the third one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I saw Brian. Where were we? I think it was at Market, another restaurant locally. It was the Inner Circle meetup. He came for that, and he was telling me, like, it's kind of on the DL right now, but this is what we're thinking. We're in touch with it. So it's done.
Well.
Wow.
We're breaking the news right
American here. Legion in Punta Cana. Post 809?
Yes.
Perfect. The area code?
Colin Powell.
That's amazing. Well, congratulations.
And I think that's the first African-American American Legion.
First named after an African-American leader. Wow, no kidding.
And
Very
he has
cool.
roots in the Caribbean.
Does he? Where from?
I have to get those details.
Yeah, I don't know.
I still got to learn a lot. But
Powell Caribbean. Yeah.
Yes. Look it up.
I am going to look it up. But no, so
that's exciting.
So the point I was making is there are a bunch of people, Colin Powell Caribbean roots. Come on, ChatGPT, do well for me. There was a bunch of people that are moving here and they're dollarized. And you have, of course, what people would call like your native Dominicans who are on the peso, and they're maybe on the lower end of the socioeconomic spectrum from a middle class perspective, or in the poverty range. But there's a big middle class in between. But I think what's not understood or not accepted, and this isn't, I'm not saying good, bad. It just is. The reality is, this is not your $3 lunch place anymore overall. You can find it, But for somebody that's American or lives in the United States or lives in Canada and has sort of adopted or adapted American culture, I think they're finding like, oh, I can go back there and have this sort of lifestyle I have in the United States for like really cheap.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's necessarily true. Do you? Men, I'm talking to you. If you're honest with yourself, most of us aren't failing. We're just imbalanced. Some guys are crushing it in business, but their health is a mess. Some are amazing dads and husbands, but they're stuck financially. Others look successful on paper, but have no one in their life to actually, truly call them out. This is why back in 2018, I joined GoBundance, who is sponsoring today's video. GoBundance is a high-ticket paid mastermind for high-performing men who are focused on 6 different pillars: age-defying health, bucket list adventure, horizontal income, authentic relationships, genuine contribution, and my favorite, extreme accountability. The goal isn't to be perfect in all of those pillars. It's to stop letting one area of your life win while the others fall apart. For me, being in rooms with men who refuse to let me coast was a massive catalyst. It's what gave me the clarity, the confidence to quit my job and pursue a life that's more aligned with my values, including moving my family here to the Dominican Republic. So while this video is sponsored by GoBundance, GoBundance is also the single most impactful decision that I've made in the last 10 years. And as I record this, my kids are less than 10 years old. That impactful. If you're a man who wants to win in business without losing your health, your marriage, your integrity, there's a link below to see if GoBundance is a fit for you. Check them out at GoBundance.com. Now let's get back to the show.
You can live for less.
Less.
You can definitely.
Less. I always say it's not cheap. No, wait, what do I say? It's not cheap, but it's less expensive. That's the way I look at it. It's not cheap to live here, but it's less expensive.
Yes.
Depending on where you decide to go.
Yes.
So no, I want to hear your take though.
I would definitely agree. And it really depends on how you live. Like depending on if you cook for yourself, if you eat out, that's huge.
Big.
Because if you're eating out all the time, you're spending money, right? You're gonna spend the money. There's the 18% tax at the end. You're gonna spend money, but you're gonna have a nice time. You're gonna have great food.
You eat out a lot.
Not as much anymore.
You're dialing it down?
Well, I traveled a lot during the summer, and since I've been back, I haven't been on my thing. And I spend a lot of time now at the hotel with the veterans, and we have it there. But I love eating out, and I eat out a lot. If I'm going with guests or whatever, I like to go to different restaurants, and you can spend some money. But what I think creates a balance is the quality of life.
Oh, yeah.
That's huge.
100%.
That's huge. That literally is priceless.
Yeah.
Like, what would you pay to be able to sleep good at night?
Yeah.
Like, what would you pay to not have to worry about your kids going to school?
Yeah.
And it costs less. So, I think a lot of people are finding that a lot more families
I completely
are
agree.
moving here, and it's beautiful.
I completely agree. Quality of life is huge. My goodness.
What is this?
¿Qué es eso?
This is big bulk martinis.
Martinis.
That's the special one from the house.
One second. Perdón, un agua, por favor. Sí, gracias.
And it's espresso with a little bit of cafe.
That one?
You want this one?
No, I'm not an espresso guy.
And sweet, and this is an espresso one.
I'm gonna drink it.
You like
I've had
espresso?
one of these, but yeah, I'll drink it.
To you?
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Of course. Oh, that's nice.
Oh my gosh,
That's nice.
that was so delicious.
I don't think I've ever had a martini. If I'm being honest, I don't think I've ever had one.
That is good.
Good.
Okay, get that.
Yeah. So cost of living wise, my point is like when you there's services you can get for cheap,
Yeah.
but I'm concerned that cheap services, cheap real estate, even like really cheap real estate, it's attractive, but it's not a good idea.
There are things you don't want to skimp on.
Right.
There are things you don't want to skimp on.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like there's this dollarized side, and that's just driving. Maybe like the best are able to charge, so they will. Doesn't mean that you pay more, you get the best. Absolutely, there's some others, but like if you think of like a Guzman Orisa or whatever, they're not cheap.
No,
they're not. You're not going to get your $50 review from an attorney. You can find that, but I'll tell you, every time we've done that, it's created more work.
But don't cut corners.
That's
There's
my point. Every time we've gone with the cheap, easy route, we've always it's cost more work for us. So
was the cheap one referred by somebody?
Yeah, family. You deal with family, man.
And they were like, "It's great. This person's going to do the job for you." Yeah. Really? Huh?
But I think my theory on this, and again, I could be wrong, is the more you do business with family or family adjacent, there's and this is a beautiful thing about the culture here, right? People don't abandon family.
Right.
And I don't want to say that the family member referring you knows that there's no risk on whether or not this person performs for you, or that the family member, they're the person you're doing business with, like if you have a family member that's an attorney or whatever, that they take advantage intentionally of the fact that, you know, there's no risk to the relationship if they don't perform. But I just think that you get deprioritized if you're too close to the person providing you services. Like you want arm's length, in my opinion, here between you and the important things. I mean, if you got a family member that's a seamstress, send your clothes and have them do that, or watch your kids or whatever. I mean, that's not important, but you get my point. But it's more like if you need legal counsel, if you need a real estate agent, if you need a home inspector or whatever, like the professional stuff. I'd rather get arm's length away because I don't want to resent the family member. That's true. And that's what happened with us. Is just like, oh my God, how much money we lost because of just lackadaisical. Okay, so no whatever. Family. That's my take. That's my take. I'd be curious if people think. Drop it down below if that resonates with you. Like I just think for the important stuff, it's hard to do business with family or family referrals here. I think you need an arm's length away. Yeah, I can agree with that. That's my take. I can definitely agree with that. Yeah. But on the other side, we were talking about trust. Yes. So I was asking you, like, how do you? You're very transparent. You're very open, and we had this discussion. So you got your Keller Williams business. Obviously, you've got the hotel Las Flores for veterans. But can other people book that, or is it just veterans? Mostly veterans. We're full. So right now we can't really take out. You got the VCI, the Veterans Clinic, Veterans Community International, VCI, Veterans Care International. Sorry, with the clinic, right? With the medical clinic, the service connected for service connected veterans. Yes. Service connected veterans. Can't speak. And then you've got Boardwalk Developments, right? As your development arm, which is what I've invested in Cortecito and in Miches. Yes. But for that, like, talk to me about the different projects and the different challenges. How many do you have going on right now with Boardwalk? There's Miches, there's Maple Beach, Maple Suites, there's Sun Village, Palm Coast? Yes. Is that another one? Yeah, in Palm Coast, we're packaging to sell the whole project. So we have the whole project of the condos with all of the permits, and we're actually working on the titles right now. So that we're actually packaging and we're talking to groups. And this is something that I'm finding that's very interesting, that there is a good market out there for folks who want to build and looking for projects that are already really packaged, that you don't have to start from buying the land and go through the whole process if there's a project that's already ready and just come in. So you build the whole complex and then you're selling the whole complex to one developer? Yes, or just selling it to them and they can build it themselves. Selling what to them? The plans, the project, the company. Oh, okay. So you're doing like a land development deal almost. Like there's a friend of mine in the States does this. He buys the land, he goes out and he gets the planning done for it. Might even rough out the amenities on the land. Yeah, the infrastructure is done. Infrastructure, that's the word. All of that is and then done. They say, hey, it's built. Here's 2 or 3 different plans that you can execute. Yes. He gives them like, here's if you want to do industrial, here's if you want to do residential, here's this or whatever it might be, depending on how far they go. If they go individual, whatever. But that's kind of what you're doing with Palm Coast. Yes. So that's being built to not built, but like developed to sell in one package. Yes. Okay. So the other ones, are there any more than what I said? Sun Village. No, right now. Miches and Maple Suites, Maple Beach. Yes. So how do you structure that within Boardwalk? Like where does the money flow? How does it go? What does that look like? So like from an investor perspective, like when they invest in a development company, what should they expect? Yes. Where does the money land? All of that stuff. Yes. Well, right now people are not investing per se in a development company. They're not investing in the company. They're investing in the project to get their product at the end, whether it's land, a house, a condo, or they're investing in the project. Yeah. So folks are not necessarily investing in Boardwalk Developments as a company per se. Yeah. But what we have is that all of our projects have a different company that represents them. So under the Boardwalk umbrella, each one is a representative, SRL company, whatever it might be. Yes, okay. SRL. So, for example, Maple Beach is an SRL. Maple Suites is another SRL. Oh, they're two separate, even though they're together. They're different. They're because Maple Beach was built, and then Maple Suites came after, different being built company. Yeah, and then Sun Village
is another company. Actually, I have other partners on that one, which are some of my partners with Keller Williams. So we have a company for that. That's a registered SRL with the company. The title is in the name of that company. We have bank accounts in the name of that company. People are investing in that company, or through Tropical Realty, which is the representative for escrow. Now we're needing to change some of that a little bit because of the laws changing, but we're providing a paper trail for those who bought before the May date.
Yeah.
Now, because the law changed, they really want buyers depositing directly to the developer, which there's always two sides, right?
Yeah.
Because now what we used to do as, let's say, Keller Williams, an escrow company, or a real estate company, was able to do escrow for our clients, was we would hold the deposit until the due diligence, until the contract is signed, and then we would send the money to everybody, whoever, as a third party. But now, the way the law has changed, you just have to send it directly to the seller to reserve even before. So in a way, it's a little more risky for the buyer, but that's just the way the law
that makes
is.
sense.
They're saying you have to give it directly to the seller.
But there's other companies developing multiple projects. So what you're saying is, and maybe this is like what somebody can expect, is if you're developing in Project A under the umbrella of a development company, then Project A is Project A. Project B's funds shouldn't go to Project A, and then Project B gets funded to Project B. See, they don't intermix, right? They don't commingle, if you will, which would be bad.
No.
So they should expect that.
Yes.
And then, as far as funding these, and you tell me, we'll edit whatever you want if we're getting too in the weeds on this. But as far as funding these, so I know a lot of projects here people think are scams that don't end up being scams, but they just end up being poorly managed and heavily dependent on sales.
Yes.
So in other words, hey, I'm putting up this $20 million property and I'm going to sell, 100 units at $200,000 a piece. That's 20 million, whatever it is. And they go out and they only sell 10 of them, and they can't sell the rest. And that money is required to finish the project. The project just dies.
Yeah.
How do you, or are you able to, or is there a way that you go about making sure that sales are less of, or maybe not a dependency? Like, what is your strategy with that?
Yeah. Well, it depends on how the project is put together. And also we have investors who have been investing with us and backing our projects. So that is something that is really good, so that we can build it. We don't depend on the sales per se to build
any of them?
Not anymore. In the beginning, yes.
You did.
In the beginning, yeah. In the beginning, we needed the sales to keep things moving.
But now you have an equity partner per project.
Yes.
So like Maple Beach, Maple Suites, or Miches. So if somebody asks us at one point, like, how many units or how many land lots need to be sold for you to be able to pay off the debt? And you said none.
No. There's we won't carry debt on the project. We bring investors.
Brought in investors.
So it's not so much debt, because then you could get into like a remolina, which is like where you have interest and you have the short term. Like, for example, short term loans, unless they're willing to work with things like COVID and the workers that are getting put on buses and sent back to Haiti, those kind of things come up. So our investors it's better that you're working with people that you can talk with, because otherwise, if you're dealing with a fund or something and they may not understand or work with you, then you could get into kind of a slippery slope when dates come up, or when your money is due and you're waiting for permits, or the economy goes down, or Trump says something and gets everybody nervous and nobody wants to do anything. They want to wait. So these things do happen, and we've seen everything. We've seen everything, and we get to the other side. The best way for people to really avoid getting scammed is exactly what we talk about in the inner circle, and what we are talking about to your buyers, and what we talk about to our buyers is to have a paper trail to make sure that you're working with the legitimate person that is responsible for that project, has rights to the project, and that. Like, for example, there's been just a recent scenario that I've had where you asked me if I've been scammed. Well, I could say not recently, but then in a way, this is a situation that's going on where somebody is presenting legacy.
The Miches project.
Yeah. And then receiving money.
Without doing anything
I
with
didn't know anything about it.
Oh gosh. So it's like a TikTok, like I get duplicate TikTok accounts all the time.
Yeah.
People create a fake one and message followers and try to sell them crypto. And I'm like,
your name?
In my name. I have nothing to do with it.
serious?
Yeah. Have you ever seen me reaching out on TikTok about crypto? That ain't me. It's kind of the same thing. This person is representing legacy without representing legacy.
Yes.
Taking money, taking funds.
Yeah. Unfortunately. So be careful.
Yeah.
I want to tell everybody to be careful because it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been here a long time doing business, working hard to protect people, to work with them through everything. You know, sometimes we have people who come and get divorced or they have life problems and they can't go through. We want to work with everybody to get them through the system.
Yeah.
But with me, they're not going to get scammed.
Right.
Scammed. But if they are working with people who are saying that they represent the project and it's not really us, then that could be a potential risk. And somebody could come back to me, like I've had happen before, and say, oh yeah, I bought in your project and I didn't get what I thought I was supposed to get.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
and it's hard to avoid those things, but it's not, I won't say that it's hard to avoid them. I can say it's easy to get approached with a scandalous scenario, a scandalous situation.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure you know who you're working with.
Yeah.
You just have to make sure you know that. And we're going to come out with an announcement about that to make sure that people aren't sending money to who knows, thinking they're buying in our project.
No, it makes sense. One of the things we talk about, like a sensitivity, trust. Sensitivity of Americans in building trust.
Yeah.
You said it a second ago, and I think it's something where, for me now, having just purchased a home with a mortgage, that again, as I learn, I realize, you know what, I want to have a certain standard for the realtors I refer to, and what I'm starting to insist on is that they have an escrow.
Yes.
So like Keller Williams has an escrow.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Not every realtor I refer to not all of them have escrows,
Yes.
and that's okay. I mean, that doesn't mean they're bad. It's just that an American buyer's like, wait a minute. So like in my scenario, big chunk of down payment, it went right to the seller.
Directly to the seller.
Right into her account.
Did you have a final contract signed?
I don't think so.
So
Maybe I did. I don't remember.
Let's say
It's all the attorney.
she wakes up one day. No. You're probably predicting. But let's say she wakes up one day and she's like, I changed my mind, or she has some weird dream, or her dog turns around 3 times and pisses on the floor.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know.
So I walked through this. You tell me what you think. I walked through this with the attorney because we did have a contract on this. And now I think about it, there was a signed contract. A couple of things he modified from the seller's attorney. He modified on our end to give a little more space to get the mortgage closed, more favorable terms for me or for me and my wife. But now at the point it was like, I'm about to wire this woman all this money. He's like, look, here's the deal. If you walk away or you don't get the mortgage for any reason, she's keeping 20 grand. That's what it says in the contract. And I'm like, okay, that's fair, right? Like, it's just like any EMD, right? Earnest money deposit.
The market.
Right. She's getting 20 grand. If I say, I'm out, she keeps 20 grand. Fair, I get it. I said, okay, but what if when it's like, hey, I'm out, I want my money back, she goes, no, I don't want to send it. You know what I mean? Like, it's in her account. Like, great that she keeps 20, but what gets her wire back?
All the time.
So his take.
She's in Spain, right?
She's going to Spain.
She never comes back.
Right.
It's over. Done.
So here's what we talked about. You tell me what you think.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, and this was in the contract language, how it would happen. Instantly, if not returned upon cancellation of the contract, a lien is filed against the home.
Yeah.
So instantly, a lien is filed against the home with terms laid out for repayment. Very short terms, like, this is, if this isn't done within a few days, then we go through repossession protocols. He goes, look, you're talking 2 years. This isn't like instant, but at a certain point, we would then repossess the home. So we'd file a lien. It would be filed with the title department here in the country.
Yes.
And so if that house ever gets listed or sold again, that title is going to have a lien on it, which is you.
Yes.
Right. If she attempts to sell it to somebody else. So therefore, that is your safety net. And he's like, look, it's not perfect, it's not easy, but that's the safety net. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and absolutely, if you have a lawyer to do that, get a copy of everything. Get a copy of everything that they submit. You have a right to that. Just get a copy to make sure that they put the lien on the property.
Right.
Because what happens if they get busy or they file it or things are slow or whatever, and you're waiting for that 20,000, and then 2 years later somebody else moves in the house, and you're like,
what happened? Well, where's my lien?
Yeah.
That's a great point. Follow through if it happened.
Just get a copy.
Thank you. Yeah,
Take this.
You want the shrimp taco? It's all you, buddy.
Yeah, so we just got
Take that. Put it over there for you.
check it out.
No, but leave the taco for you.
Just get a copy. Get a copy of everything.
Yeah.
And the lawyer may say, no, I have everything. No, just a copy.
Get everything.
Just
Great
get
advice.
a copy so that you have the number where they deposited and everything was registered and this, that you have to have that.
Yep.
If you have that, then you know that it was done.
Perfect. So I'll be honest with you. Part of me was like, I hope she takes the money. Because now I file a lien. I repossess. It takes 2 years, but I get the house for half.
You wouldn't get the house, though.
Well, that's what he's saying.
No, you're not going to get
So
the
what
house.
would happen then?
She just has to give your money back.
No, I know, but if she didn't, and this is what I'm saying, like if she doesn't give me my money back, you file a lien.
Yes.
So you place your name on the title as a lien holder with the registry of titles.
Well, for $20,000 that she owes you.
For $20,000 that she owes me.
That you paid to.
Right, but if she doesn't pay me that, No, for the remainder that she owes me, not for the $20,000. $20,000 I owe her. For the remainder that she owes me.
Oh, you mean what you've paid? So you paid more than $20,000.
Yes.
For whatever you paid her.
Yes.
That's what you can get back from her.
Correct. The contract said if you cancel it, meaning if I cancel it, you get your money back less $20K.
Okay.
So that's her earnest money.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, and then he said, well, okay. I said, well, what if she doesn't give me all of my other money back? He's like, then we file a lien. Like, okay, then what? He goes, well, then if she doesn't pay you back, we can go through repossessions protocols at that point, which is like, it's a pain. It takes a long time. But if you're looking for security, that would be the security. That would be the backstop for not putting the money in an escrow account, but instead it goes directly to the seller.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a risk. However, working like, say, for example, with Keller Williams for the last 20 years, and you say escrow, so I want to say escrow with quotation marks because everybody thinks of escrow in a different way.
Sure.
It's not like we open a separate bank account because
but Keller's account is holding the funds.
Oh yeah.
Right. Until execution of everything, Keller's account is holding the funds.
It's gonna go to one or the other
Right.
according to the contracts, the lawyers, the legal, so nobody gets cheated.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, it's going to go wherever the contracts and the lawyers say it should go. And that's it.
And this is resale only, right? So for pre-construction, that's you're directly working with the developers.
Pre-construction, they're going to have to take the money. They're going to write the contract. You're going to see your property.
You're going to pay. That's what you're going to have to do.
Yes.
But from a resale perspective, the escrow account is huge. And not every realtor here has one.
No, it protects. But we've been here and doing this for
account for the realtor, escrow account for the realtor.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. And it has to be a trustworthy company too, because you don't want to go to some podunk company that just arrived to the country and put hundreds of thousands of dollars into their account.
Yeah.
But we do sign legal documents, everything with the company, Tropical Realty, that was established in 2006. Well, we started under a different name, DR for Sale, but we're still the owners and with the same bank account actually. And so we do that to protect our buyers and to give confidence to sellers, because some sellers are like, if I don't have money, I'm not going to sign.
Yeah.
And we tell them, listen, we're here. This is how we work. And then they're like, okay. So then we're able to close business like that, protecting both sides.
Yeah.
You know.
What do you think? Can you be too optimistic about the future of this country right now? Does that make sense?
Can I be too optimistic?
Not you, anybody. Can anybody be too optimistic? Like, on the high end about where things are going. And again, anything could change, right? You could have a coup. You could have who knows? But let's just assume a non-black swan event, that no black swan events happen, right? Let's just assume that we go in the trajectory that we're going. Like, I'm struggling. And I'm struggling to find an avenue where there's not significant progress over the next 10 years in this country, like a J curve type of progress. Like, there's been progress, right? Obviously, but it is just, we're kind of in this this moment where it's about to do this.
Yes.
Can you be too optimistic?
No. And I tell you why. We've been through COVID.
Yeah.
Is that not a black swan event?
It is.
That like we literally went through it, and the hospitals didn't collapse, and people were coming. We actually did a lot of business.
Yeah.
A lot of things came out positive for the Dominican Republic through COVID. Let's say a lot of people came here. They wanted green space. We started selling a lot more on the golf course.
Yeah.
So then we went from mostly beach to now beach and golf. People moving here to live here. So it was a real shift for us. And that was basically a catastrophe, a global catastrophe. So what I see is, in general, and pretty much most things that are when everything, the roof starts caving in, the DR is a good place to go. There has to be some place to go in the world. When I first got here, it was right before the 2010 economic crash. You know, the house came down on the mortgage business and everything, and people came here. We started selling with seller financing because people were like, you know, the people who really had money to invest were like, I'm gonna hold on, and the other people were like, you'll give me the keys if I make monthly payments. Yes.
Yeah.
And they had like 8-year payment plans, and you know, when all those were rolling off, because I was the escrow for that. Like people were sending their money to me, and I was sending it to the builder, or they were sending me checks or whatever. We facilitated that for our buyers, and we rolled off all of those after 8 years. But we just had to get creative about how to do business. So there's always some kind of an upside. There's always some kind of an upside, and I think like what we're gonna see is, we go up, but then we may go back down a little bit, and then we go up, and then we may go back down. It's just normal.
Any trend graph looks
like
that,
so
right?
We say it's like this, but if we zoom in, it's like,
and little pockets. Like I've been saying downtown, I think is at risk in the short term of seeing a correction, just because so much supply came online. I think people are realizing that may not be the best Airbnb market, and they bought it to afford with Airbnb, and now they're listing their. I just had somebody message me like, help, I can't get anybody to stay in my downtown condo, and I can't sell it. And I said, I think you just need to ride it out.
What's the reason that they can't get anybody to stay in it? Did they tell you?
They didn't say. My theory is that it's just not, like, Maple Suites is a block from the beach.
Yeah, it's right there.
It's right there, right? It's marketed appropriately. In fact, you're putting lockers in there for Airbnb guests, right? It's marketed appropriately as a short-term rental. Downtown, I think, has a big future. I mean, you see some of the commercial stuff going on down there. It's going to be a business hub. I mean, you know what's funny? I thought of this morning. People keep asking me about Miches. Like, what are you going to do with Miches? And I'm like, you know what I think? In 20 years, when I'm in my late 60s, I think the way Santo Domingo people leave the city for the weekend to come to Punta Cana, I think those of us in Punta Cana are going to leave to go to Miches for the weekend.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Ooh, yes.
Like, I think that's like, my point being, downtown as a business hub is inevitable. So I think downtown has plenty of upside, but I think this is to your point. It did this. I think it's this right now, downtown specifically. I don't think that's Vista Cana. I don't think that's City Place.
Yeah.
I don't think that's, those areas. I think it's downtown, literally.
Yes.
But I still think it's got a huge upside.
Yeah.
And I think people need to start realizing that downtown renting long-term to people coming here to work, or even, I know a lot of Santo Domingo people who have office there, office here, and they just want a place. They don't want to, have to get a hotel. They want a place they can rent and be theirs for, the 2 nights a week or whatever. They go back and forth. There's a lot of opportunity with that, but people are still fixated on short term.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna come. It's just as the area grows. For example, I have a condo in the beach, 1 bedroom. And I'm renting it long-term to an agent who works with me. Yeah. He's married, but his wife is in the States, so he's basically a single guy, not single, but an individual
living
person.
Like a single guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Downtown, he has his car, and he's renting long-term.
Yeah.
That's the profile.
Yeah.
But we need that in volumes.
Yeah.
Like, we need numbers, because they're building in numbers, but that demographic has to catch up.
Well, on that end, so talk about optimism. So with real estate, I get it. We can talk about Miches, we will in a moment. But in the middle, I think I saw you post about this recently. It was really good, and it made me interested in asking you about this. But the other part is, what about future for our children? So retirees moving here, I get, right? There's nothing to worry about except just enjoy your paradise life. But if you're a 30, 35, 40-something year old with kids, and you're like, man, I see guys like me on there talking about, no school shootings, feels much more safe. Our kids get the culture, yada, yada, yada. It's like, that's great, but some people, and I'm not one of these people, I don't really think beyond a few feet in front of me when it comes to this stuff. But some people think like, all right, but then what? After high school, after college, if there is college, and I have a whole other theory, we can go into AI on this, but
let's go into that one of these days.
We should. We might even get into it now. But what is the future for families bringing their kids here, for their kids to then form and have a good, a good income, a good career, or to have a good life here and build their own family? Are you seeing that? Have you seen that? What's the difference in your 20 years of seeing kids grow up here?
So what kind of careers are these kids going to look for? Are they going to want to go to school for playwriting, graphic design? Are they going to want to go to school for things that...
Even a lawyer,
jobs that might not be...
Accountant. They're all going to be automated.
So then what do our kids need? They need the creativity to go out there and build their own businesses. Yeah. Or if they do get a job, I don't know. I find that hard.
You want to get into this? This is what's best. I just filmed this for as an exclusive content for the Inner Circle. And I'm all into this space, right? So, at the end of the day, I believe that the culture of the Dominican Republic aligns so much more with what AI will do to countries than the United States. And here's why. Here's why.
Okay.
60% of the United States, and the developed world, we'll say, earns money in wages. They have jobs.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That's going to get cut in half, maybe more. Right? Wage earning will be way less a factor of how people earn income. Mm-hmm. Some of those people are going to have to go to UBI, Universal Basic Income. Mm-hmm. Some of those people have to go
University of what?
Universal Basic Income.
Okay,
like government-funded income. Some of those people, or if you say half and half, they're going to split, and the other half is going to go toward sort of like call it like a fee-based model. So entrepreneur, creator, salesperson, whatever. Something where you actually earn money in exchange for transaction, or you create so much value. It's IP, intellectual property.
Yeah.
So certain people are going to go toward intellectual property because they don't have a job anymore. They have to figure it out and build business. And other people are just going to kind of sit back and collect their universal basic income, their government check.
Yeah.
In the Dominican Republic, wages are not that big a percentage of the income earned. And even when people do earn wages, this is something I believe too. The average wage there, Jamie, you're saying all this stuff. The average wage is $400 a month. Like, the average wage for that one job that person works might be $400 a month US. But that same person sells real estate. They have a small business that they have in their community. They do Uber, right? They have all these hustles. Yeah. So you see somebody making $400 a month with an iPhone 15. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're doing like incredibly well, but my point is like, this is a hustle culture.
Yes.
Right? This isn't a culture that sits back and relies on government assistance, or on jobs. So while that has up to this point been a disadvantage for this country, I think the mindset of figuring it out becomes an advantage in the AI world. Because I believe with what you're saying, like the jobs that people are training their kids to do today, this traditional path of education, get good grades, go to high school, care what the teacher says you're supposed to do, have a guidance counselor, go to college, get a job. We're 3 years away from that being absolutely archaic.
Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Don't do that.
I agree. People ask me, like, is it a U.S. accredited school? Like, who gives a crap what accreditation? And they all are, but like, it doesn't matter.
What can you really do with that? Like, let me tell you a story. My niece just moved in with us a month ago. She has like 3 degrees. She has like bachelor's degree, master's degree, biology. She worked in a lab, and she can't get a job. She's 25.
Hold that thought. Okay. We're gonna eat. Okay. Niece, 25, can't get a job. What a great cliffhanger. Let's eat something though real quick. Oh, that looks good.
Wait. Oh,
we're
my
destined through all this stuff. Let's move all this out of the way.
Oh, yes.
Oh, we each get one.
I was just thinking,
oh my God, yes.
You like French fries or veggies?
Yes, I'll switch with you. I don't like veggies.
You like French fries?
I do.
Okay, I like veggies.
Well, then we're switching.
Let's switch. I still like fry.
Yeah, no, please take a few. Wow.
We're going to ask you who likes it.
No, it's fine.
No, it doesn't matter.
All right. You know, I never used to like shrimp until I met my wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now you're a shrimp eater?
Yeah, the way she prepared it, like, I don't know, it was like complimentary to the sauce that she would make. And then over time, like, I didn't need the sauce as much.
You became a fan.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So now I just like shrimp.
Acquired taste. Yep.
Like, I just like a good piece of shrimp.
Delicious.
Okay, I will eat this whole skewer. Very good. I'm gonna have some of the steak too. But yeah, we're gonna get back to your niece with the 3 degrees, but man, I just see it's like. So here's a fun stat. I think I read this somewhere. It took something like 40 years for what they would call full adaptation of TV. I think it was TV. Let's just go with that. Like, meaning, like, once it came out and became like, you know, in at least the United States, a fully integrated part of society. Right? Yeah. Saturated. There you go. Took 40 years. The internet took 7 years.
Yep.
ChatGPT took 5 days. 5 days.
5 days. Yeah, everybody.
To saturate the market. Right? It replaced Google.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Right? As a key search engine.
Yeah.
And I think you have to, like, for a parent of a kid who's on this, I was just talking to some friends the other day about this, like, why do you care about your kids' grades? Well, they gotta get good. Like, for what? What are they did well in, you know, world geography. Like, who cares? It has zero value in the world for them. Like, why are you on your kids about their grades? And it goes down to, at the end of the day, it's just how it's always been. You know?
I know.
That's it. It's how it's always been. There's no other reason.
So better.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. So,
Yeah, it's just like the story about chopping off the legs off of the chicken before putting it in the pot, because that's the way it always was done, because the pot was too small.
what stories do you take? What are you talking about?
You know that story. I told you the story.
What chicken and what pot?
I'm not going to tell that story. I can tell the story.
I love how casually you dropped it, though. It's like that story about, like, when you pull somebody's arm off and beat them with it, and then throw them in a cauldron.
Everybody knows this story. It's the story about, like, the girl who asked her mom, "Why do you chop the legs off of the chicken before you put it in the pot?" And then she was like, "It's because my mom always did it like that." And then she asked the grandma, "Why did you always cut the legs off of the chicken?" Something like that, before you bake the chicken. And she was like, "It's because my mom always did it like that." And so then they went to the great grandma in the nursing home, and they were like, "Why did you always cut the legs off the chicken?" She was like, "Because the pot was too small." So it's like, it just became a tradition just because. Why do you need good grades? Just because you should get good grades.
Get good grades, otherwise you won't be successful. It's like,
the other
in
day,
what world? Yeah.
I know, my daughter came home from school and she was like, "Mom, you know, I'm learning about this and that in school, and I don't know why they're making a big deal about it." And she was like, "Do you know about such and such?" And I'm like, "I don't know." She was like, "Exactly." You know, she's looking at me like, "Exactly." And I'm like, she was like, "Why do I need to know about that?"
Right.
And so I think a part of what primary school does for me is it just gets the kids exposed to different things to see what they really like. Maybe they like science. Maybe they like music.
That's what it should do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. They have a curriculum. You got to do these electives and you got to do these things, right?
But if you excel in math, then maybe you should be an engineer. And if you excel in music, so, you know, but if you don't, it's not, you know, I'm an engineer. My daughter is not good at math. That hurts me a little. Right. So I'm like, "You're supposed to be good at math." She, you know, it's like 1 + 1, she's getting ChatGPT. And a part of me is like, or Siri.
Yeah.
And a part of me is like, but you need to know how to do it. And then at the end of the day, if her phone is going to do it, does she need?
What was the old thing? Like, it's not like you're going to have when we were younger. Yeah. Not like you're going to have a calculator in your pocket at all times. Like, actually.
Yeah, and if I do, then can I skip the class? Right.
Not only do I have one in my pocket, but I can talk to it. And it can figure it all out for me. So, by the way, I'm not handing this off. I'm getting rid of the food because it was bad. The food was really good. I want that other shrimp skewer. I have a date night with my wife tonight, so I'm trying to pace myself and the dessert round. Wait till you see it. So
Gosh.
I feel bad, man. I'm giving you scraps, but there's like a whole steak and a half there for you, and shrimp, and fries. That's all you. He just said to me, he's like, I want to order food. I'm like, you don't want to. You don't. I'm gonna leave you a bunch because I got to eat later with my wife. So it's all you, buddy. I kept it clean. I kept like separate fork, knife. I picked up the skewer. I didn't want it to intersect it all for you. I kept all my yuckiness out of it.
No cooties.
No cooties. I promise you.
No. I'm dating myself.
With what, cooties?
Yeah.
I like that phrase.
Kids don't use that these days.
But no, I think curriculum needs to shift so aggressively from learn these things and comply. I think compliance is the most dangerous trait that we can like beat into our kids nowadays. That's Industrial Revolution stuff. It worked then, right? Because it's like, we got to prepare the society. We got all these jobs, these types of jobs, and we pay these people this much, and they got to know how to do that. So great, you put education in that way. We're still doing that.
Yes.
And now today, there's people like me that can go out there and film Miches and make a living.
Yes.
There's a song.
Yes.
You ever hear the song by the Dirty Heads? It's called Vacation. Hey, I'm on vacation every single day because I love my occupation. Never heard?
Oh, yes.
Great song.
Yes. I was thinking the other group, the Bengals, or what was that? Vacation.
You are dating yourself.
Yeah, I'm dating myself.
That's it.
I'm from the 1800s.
The
was my
Bengals.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Wasn't that them?
Maybe, but I remember, what was their big song? They had a huge song, the Bengals.
Some go-go song or something.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Bananarama or something.
in that song, there's a lyric that says, I'll make a living out of living. Yeah, that's what I say. Man, I make a living out of living.
Yeah.
Like, that's the future. That's the now and the future. You're already starting to see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Intellectual property, brand, all of that. Make a living out of living, right? Even like when I do the inner circle, part of that is, that's the future commodity, the future currency, I should say, as AI builds. Like, people want to be connected to people.
Yes.
Those that know how to build community around a shared interest, whether it's model planes or living in the Dominican Republic or whatever, those that know how to build community around that will win.
Yes.
That's fairly universally understood. So we're not teaching our kids, how do you build brand? How do you build community? How do you build all these things? We're teaching them, go do a science project.
What are we teaching them?
We're not teaching them anything. We're teaching them how to comply. We're teaching them how to fall in line with a future employer that's not going to be there when they get there.
Yeah.
You know?
Because for sure, if that employer can replace that employee with AI, they will.
How do they not? They have a responsibility to the shareholder, right? And they can, if they don't, their competitor will. They'll be out of business.
It has to be done.
Right? It just is. And this is a whole scary part of like super intelligence. We won't get into that. I'm more optimistic about the future than that. But I'm really interested in the future here. Like I said, I feel as though the way people operate here, they've had to hustle, aligns more with the future of earnings, how people are going to earn money, than the United States, UK, Canada, Australia, I don't know where else. These developed nations that have been able to build massive job markets where people are paid a really good wage. They can operate on that 60, 80, 100, $200,000 a year. Gone, or severely limited. Like, there's not gonna be as many accountants, not gonna be as many lawyers. There's just not.
Right.
So you have to hustle, and the society allows for that. You were saying about your 25-year-old niece, 3 degrees. What was your point gonna be on that?
She couldn't find a job.
Yeah.
You know, she was like, they cut the budgets for research. I can't find a job. You know, she was really sad about it. She was working for a cookie company.
What do you mean a cookie company?
Like making cookies.
Oh, no kidding.
Like, which cookie do you want? And with the apron behind the counter.
Like Crumble or whatever cookies? Wow.
With all of those
good
degrees,
job, but not with all of that degree. That's not where she was going, right?
That's not her future. That's not what she had in mind. And actually, she told me, she was like, you know, I feel like they lied to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm thinking to myself, she was like, they lied to me. Like, I understood that if I went to school and I studied hard and I got a good degree and did everything I should have done, that I would come out of school and get a job. And she told me, she said, I called everybody.
Yeah.
She was like, I called everybody. I can't get a job. So
mid 80s through today, it's been a downward slope of that storyline being a benefit to you. Yeah. It's just been less and less and less and less. The industry I was in insurance claims.
Yeah.
I mean, When I left 4 years ago, they were already starting AI-generated estimatic software. Like you literally take a phone, you go around the car and video it, and then it uploads. The AI can recreate the car and tell you, here's all the parts you need, here's the repair times for this, that, and the other, which was a lot of what my industry was. Like an adjuster would go out, they'd estimate the damages, yada, yada. Now the shop can just do that real quick. Could be a drive-in booth.
Your job is gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
Gone. And so what does that mean? That means consolidation of leaders in that company. You don't need as many of these people, right? Like, it's coming. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just the next evolution of our society.
Yes.
But you've got to be prepared for it, and we're not preparing our families.
No.
Our kids.
We should prepare our kids.
But here, what do you think about my theory, or do you have your own theories about, like, you have kids. How old is your oldest? 21?
24.
24. They're brilliant little things.
Get him engaged because they're so smart. Some of the conversations, it's like, where do you come up with that?
Right.
They're ready.
Right.
They're ready to talk about business or to talk about strategy or to talk about the numbers or to talk about the charts.
Yep.
That is how we can prepare our children for the future.
100%.
If there are doctors or lawyers or entrepreneurs or whatever else, talk about the business. Yeah. Talk about what you're dealing with and let them learn.
Your son in charge of a medical facility, like that's one industry again. I said YouTube. Medical, huge future.
Yeah.
Huge future.
And you know what? He doesn't have a medical degree, but guess what? He has doctors.
The point is, you're saying he's the entrepreneur running it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, to be honest with you, the first one to get phased out of that in, say, that's maybe 30 or 40 years, like dexterity work, are the doctors.
Yes.
Because now you could have AI performing, but the human being that owns that clinic, unless AI eliminates us. So that's a whole other discussion, but we won't get into that.
But guess what? He's the owner. He leads
that's my point,
the charge.
So he's actually more valuable long term than the actual doctor.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
It's crazy. This is like a fascinating topic that we could go deeper on. We could spend a lot of time on.
And people used to ask me back in the day about raising children here. Yeah. And I was always like, well, you know, for me, it's been okay for me because, you know, they were always like, some people would come like, well, I want to wait until my kids get out of high school before I move. And I want to, you know, I don't want to do anything until this or that. And I sometimes would feel like, you know, what am I doing here? Like, I got my kid.
Right. Like, am I being irresponsible? Am I being like, what's wrong with me?
I was just like, well, you know, it's good for me. And now
you were it was the ultimate cheat code that you gave your kids.
I'm so glad. And now when people ask me, I'm like, yes, bring your kids, have your kids come here, have them learn. He's more open, he's more worldly, he's more international, he can relate to anybody. Yep. He's not easily upset. Like so many things that are gonna help him into the future of his whole life. Yeah. Because of his experience. I couldn't see that before. Right. But now I can tell people.
We dropped our kids into another country without the language skill, and they figured it out.
They're speaking Spanish now, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And that is you should hear him on the soccer field. It's hilarious. I'm like, what is he saying?
They're probably cursing.
What is he saying? Like, what the hell is he saying? But my point is, like, that is evidence they create in themselves that I can remind them of, like, no, you can do difficult things, right? Because you were able to pick up and move to another country, go to a school where they weren't even, at that point, they were in full Spanish immersion classes. Like the classroom was Spanish, and a few months later, suddenly they're speaking Spanish. They picked that up. They learned a new culture. They learned how to exist on the roads here, driving. You know, like
that has a lot more to do with you.
Yes.
Than you could imagine. Because imagine you came here and you were like, oh my gosh, you can't speak Spanish. Oh my gosh, you can't do this. Oh my God, you know what your kid is going to say?
Right.
I can't.
Can't. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
No, I'm a big fan of that. The idea now I see, like, I actually stopped contributing to our 529 plan for our kids for college. Are you familiar with 529 plan? Yeah. I was just like, you know what? Number one, I don't really buy into it anyway. Like, I had to pay for my own college for the little that I went. Like, my parents never were like, oh, we've got this kitty of money for you to take care of college. I know it's more expensive, but there's ways. You figure it out on your own.
College is ridiculous these days.
It's going to tank in the next 10 years, in my opinion. Like, enrollment will go down. Trade schools will be more populated. Yes. Plumbing, electricians, that kind of thing. For sure. That's just my take. But either way, even if it isn't, they want to go to college. You got your whole life, buddy, to pay off college. I'm on this part of my life. Yes. Me and your mom, we're going traveling. See you later. But I stopped contributing there, and I've become really, really passionate about the idea that these kids exhibit a level of creativity that I want to make sure they keep.
Yes.
Because that is what's going to save them or secure them in the future. And then to be in this culture, which is hustle, right? Always hustle. I think it serves the future better than, wait a minute, I go to college, I get 3 degrees, I get a job. And when you don't, then what? Yeah.
Then you cry that you were cheated.
Or you move here and do what? You get a job.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, you take to your niece, like she still got a job, but she had to go to another country.
Got a job with us,
right?
But you know what we're doing? We're teaching her what she needs to know to be a leader.
On her own, a leader.
Yes,
right. Yeah.
You have to really lead the charge, and there's room for everybody to be a leader. Yep. I mean, our kids, and I know a lot of parents and may say no, but they're not capable, they're not smart enough. But kids are very creative. They can get in where they fit in. They can create a niche. Like, how much do they need to make to run their own little business and do their own thing and not have to depend on somebody? Because really, it's worse when they lose their job.
Yeah.
And then you feel like somebody else has to tell you what you're worth or has to pay them for their time.
Yeah. That's just not our future.
No.
That's just not. And like soon. It's not our future.
Yeah, for me, I think there's going to be a tremendous divide.
Yes.
There's going to be a tremendous divide. There are going to be the ones that figure it out, and then there's going to be the ones that are just going to be on a very slippery slope. I think as parents, we need to teach our children how to be creative, how to start their own little business, their own little gigs, to learn the tools. And then I think they'll be fine because they'll figure it out.
Agreed.
But we have to be okay knowing that they're going to figure it out.
Yeah. They got to know how to do it. But all right, we went on a nice detour. That was fun.
Okay.
Before we bring out dessert, we're good on dessert. They're good. She's gonna bring it. Cool. Before we bring out dessert, I want to dive into another future, which is Miches.
Okay.
So the project at Legacy Miches, which to be clear, because this came up, right? It's Magua, the town next to Miches, but it's Miches. It's like Bávaro to Punta Cana is all Punta Cana, right?
Yeah.
But kind of thing.
Yes.
But the project in Miches, what is it about Miches? Like, well, let me ask it this way. Do you see Miches being what Punta Cana is? Do you see Miches being something different? Like, what do you picture Miches being in? Like, who's there? Why are they there? What are they doing there? Like, what does that look like in 10, 20 years?
Yeah, I see Miches right now as, well, it's like very virgin still, which for me is...
Almost hit cows yesterday.
Super,
in the
really? Cows?
You didn't see my thing?
No, I didn't. I have to take
lines of cows.
Are you serious?
Oh my God, keep going. I'll show you what we're talking about.
So I remember when they were building the main highway going down the main highway, when cows were crossing that. I actually had a friend.
Oh, Santo Domingo?
No, right here, the Corral number 3.
Yeah.
That's the main highway right now, and there would be cows on there all the time. A friend of mine actually totaled this car on there. You don't see cows out there now.
No.
But it's funny because Miches, it's going to be different. It's going to have its own character. I think it's going to have its own personality. I don't see it as being what Punta Cana is evolving into is like a metropolitan. Oh, look at that. I heard it.
There was a whole cow crossing.
Yes. Cow crossing, they need to put a sign.
Yeah, there you go. There's a guy flagging me down with a red handkerchief to say, hey, just so you know, around the corner,
in case,
there's a line of cows. So sorry.
Don't drive too fast.
But yeah, no cows here.
Yeah,
the road.
Yeah, total your car for sure.
Yeah.
But I see Miches really developing as its own place. I think it's going to be more natural. I think that it's going to be more for the holistic people who want to get out and get into the mountains to see the waterfalls, to see the ocean, to get away and be tranquil. I don't really see what has happened in Punta Cana. It's been really beautiful. It's evolved and developed. Like
you see, city.
Yeah, like downtown with all of the businesses, and we see the hotels, city. We call them city hotels because they're not the all-inclusives where people come for a night. And those are the brands like the Marriotts, and those are here. And but I see it as being where people will go to really get away, like you mentioned, like the Jarabacoa on the weekend, and to make good investments, to earn good money, because people are going to want to go to Miches to get away. They may not come to Punta Cana as much for the tourism, because I think people will come here to live and have their everyday life. We're still going to have tourists, but I think we're going to see a migration of tourism up there, because we're really bursting at the seams with the tourism.
Agree. That's a great point. Yeah.
So tourism per se, whereas Punta Cana will grow, in my opinion, with people like you and me who are here living, working, making our living, raising our children, family. This is, I think, where Punta Cana will go. And I think it's great because we need to get our children and ourselves like out of the United States and out of that.
It's crazy.
That mindset.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad, right? Just you can feel the decay on it. Like, it's sad. I mean, it's an amazing country. Thank God, we have a U.S. passport, or for me at least, have a U.S. passport. Although today I just submitted my documents for residency.
Really?
Yeah, finally. It's only been 2 years. But
everything takes time.
I know.
Like
that's on me though. I just didn't.
Yeah, but it still takes time, right? If you were in the States or living in the States or doing your thing like 5 years ago, that would have been done. You probably would have been like stressed about it.
Yes.
See, this is where you're becoming more Dominican. It's like,
that's true.
You're like, it's only gonna be 2 years. Because you're converted.
That might be it. I might be converting.
That would have been so stressful to you before, like, got it.
Yep.
But we relax here and we know we're gonna live longer because it's not the end of the world. You put your paperwork in, you may wait another 2 years, but you're gonna get it. And so I think that Miches will be the expansion of the tourism. People want to come, and I say tourism to mean even people who would stay up to 6 months, like the snowbirds, the Canadians. They're like tourists too. They come and they stay, but they go back. They're not here full time. So I think that the sky is the limit for that, and I think we will continue to fill up. Every year since I've been here, it's been incredible. During the winter, there's nothing available. You can't find flights. You can't find where to stay. And the more places we have, they just keep filling up. So
it's true.
And the government is supporting the tourism. You can buy your property in your name. You can build what you want to. It's your own. You put it in your will for your children. They don't need a 520. You got land here. That is going to be more valuable to them in the future. That's it.
Yeah.
So you just kind of made a trade, but you haven't given up on that. So
that's a great point. It's funny you say that. I should get some land in their name. Can you do that in the kid's name here?
No.
You have to put it in an adult's name?
Yes.
Or trust?
They're working on how to get that thing done with trust. I would like to know too, because I would love to put something. I got to check into that, get a real good answer about trust, like that entity. But right now, they would need to be 18 to be on title.
Got it.
They would need to be 18 to be on title.
Punta Cana itself. So Miches, I agree. Huge future. I think a center of tourism. And we've talked about some of the. I mean, just look at the brands that are investing there: the Hiltons, the Marriotts, the Four Seasons, what's that airplane Airbnb thing that's up there? I mean, there's just so much happening up in that area that it's hard. It's hard to not. I said this to somebody at an event recently. I'm like, look, it's just the easy. They're like, oh, you had some real foresight on Miches. I'm like, no, it was just like the easiest call to make. Look who's there. Look what they're doing. Look at it. It's an hour and a half from Punta Cana. Like, it's an easy call to make. I mean, again, absent some black swan event. Oh, real quick on Miches. Have you heard anything on the airport there?
Not anything official.
Nothing official, right?
Nothing official.
I hear like way better than 50% type of vibe on it. Like politicians that are getting involved, local developers who might own airports that are getting involved. So I think there's an inevitability there, but we'll see.
It is going to happen. COC. I know it's gonna. I invested in Miches, big time. And it's because I know what is gonna happen there. I'm just here. I'm ingrained in this community, and I see what has happened, and I feel the momentum that there needs to be what comes after Punta Cana for the tourism, which continues to grow. Punta Cana is evolving into something else. So where are the tourists?
Not only evolving, and this is what I was going to ask you a moment ago, and I want to get your take on this, but like driving in here now, and maybe we'll show some B-roll of this. Like the roads weren't always great in this area, and forever they weren't great. And only recently, all of a sudden, are the roads like all the way in were really nice, including right in front of Jumbo. There's that section that, as long as I've been here, is like they can't fix this. This is like the most traveled section of the area, and suddenly it's fixed. Punta Cana Verón recently, May of 2025, maybe, became its own, would it be municipality?
Yeah.
Separate and distinct from Miches?
Yeah. I didn't know that there was some official announcement, but they've been separating for years, like different little things, like not an official announcement, but different things are.
No, so you don't know if it's official or not, if it's real, but
If it's official.
Official. But is there more of a reinvestment of the money earned here into the area recently?
Oh, yeah.
But why? What happened?
Because of the census.
Because of the census.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Well, there's a census every 10 years where they figure out where they go and see the population. Well, the population and where the money is coming from. So now Punta Cana has, I don't know how many times we've grown as far as population influence. Yeah, exactly. But that made a huge difference in the money that the mayor's office gets on a monthly basis.
From the federal government, from the Dominican government.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So they got a lot more money.
Like 5 times or something like that.
So now they're funding projects.
Yeah. They've got money now to work with. They've got money now to work with, and it's coming through. So I'm sure because there's been a lot of pressure for certain things that happen. I mean, the roads, I hated hearing that, it would be great, but, it would be nice, but. And then, that whole thing. So now, I mean, I just am so happy that, for
difference.
it should be a thing of the past. Like, forget about the roads in Cortecito. They're fine.
Mm-hmm.
So now, things are better.
Yeah.
And they've never been fixed like they're fixed now. I mean, they've always put little patches and like a patchwork quilt.
They're laid down.
It's like
they're laid down.
Yeah.
But you fixed the drainage in front of Maple Suites. They got to fix the other 2 or 3 spots there. As soon as they do, like that's it. Like now the roads won't decay as a result of the water, but you did it on your own, which I love.
Yeah, I had to, because for me, I just made the decision that never again would this road get bad. And I was like, if I have to take it into my matters into my own hand, which I did. Mm-hmm. So the drainage that is in front of Maple Suites, we paid for it. Mm-hmm. Boardwalk Developments paid for all of that.
Yeah.
And the municipality didn't. They should have. But I didn't want to wait for them and take a risk that this beautiful road would go to crap before they would get around to it. Yeah. Because they even need to put other drains right around there that they haven't done yet. Right, and if it takes them too long, then I'm just going to have to do it. Yeah. Because
don't commit. You're on camera.
I'm on camera, but I will not have that. I know how much it costs. So sure. If I got to put like a good big chunk of money aside, because I care about the community. I care about the people who invested with us. I know that it impacts the community, the reputation of the community where we have our project. I don't want anybody talking about the roads again. Right. So
what was it when you drilled? How far down did you have to go?
We went like 340 feet.
340 feet?
340, or is it meters?
That's like 1,000 feet.
Like
we got 2 of them.
Yeah, we went down.
Wow.
Yeah.
340 deep, whatever it is, meters or feet.
Yeah.
What was it before? Because there was a hole there. Do you know how deep it was?
Well, my husband originally had mentioned that he was thinking about going 100. I hate that I don't have it. Like, this is where things get crossed. Maybe it's this espresso.
Like 100 feet.
Yeah.
It went 3 times plus that.
Yes.
What happens at 300?
I think they hit some level underground where everything kind of clears out. Yes.
So in other words, if water before was 100 deep, and they thought, if water has to fill up before it spills out into the street. Yeah. 100 feet's good. 200 feet's better. It'll be less.
But 300.
But 300, it clears it.
Yes.
So as long as every one of those wells drills down to 300,
we're not gonna have water. And so we went 340.
Wow.
We went 340
just to get it done.
Yeah, I was like, and my husband was like, it costs a lot more, and I'm like,
but it's done.
Yeah, we have to get
this
done.
Dominican, huh?
He's yeah. Don't hate.
Oh, my wife's Dominican.
My husband's Dominican.
Yeah,
my children are Dominican,
mine
and I love it here.
Yeah.
But he, his thought was, it's enough. Let's just kind of fix it for now.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, let's fix it forever.
Be done.
You know, I never ever want to see this again. And so, and I'm happy. I would do it again.
Yeah.
And I would do it again.
Yeah.
Just for the record.
Hopefully you don't have to.
Hopefully I don't have to.
Yeah.
But we are not going to see, you know, I want Cortecito to never have people saying that, oh, but
the water,
the
but
road,
this, but that.
What do they call it? The drainage.
The drainage, right,
The drainage.
Yeah.
The drainage.
Yeah, they can't fix that. I can't be there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, because I know that eventually this won't be a conversation.
Yep,
You
I
know,
do too.
there's so many things around here with all the time that I've been here that used to be,
Yep.
but nobody talks about it anymore. Or that happened
right.
and then it's over. We're past that. We've evolved past that. So to me, I felt like the fact that they invested in doing the roads so nicely that we just need to maintain them.
Agreed.
So we can go on and do
Yep.
other things. Go to Miches.
Yep.
Do what we need to do in Miches instead of worrying
about this.
Yeah, exactly.
Chocolate tres leche. Look at this. Look at this.
That looks good.
This Terra Negra, I got to tell you, we came here. When did we come here? Last year, right? And it was really good. I enjoyed it. But he's redone this room. He's redone some of the menu, and those tacos were better. They were good last time. These were you like them? The tacos?
Yeah.
Really good.
Yes.
That steak and shrimp, excellent. And now let me test what I believe might be my favorite.
Need some of this.
Huh?
I got a spoon.
You need knife.
No,
No, these are not knife. This is.
no knife necessary. So yes, Jamie.
My God.
Look at that. There it is.
Oh,
Tres leche and what is this?
it's like a pistachio topping.
Pistachio? Oh really? Oh,
All I taste
Oh,
is
yeah.
chocolate.
oh my goodness. That's delicious.
I gotta stop. I do need to stop. No, I'm gonna have one more. I can get the cherry in there. Let's get the cherry in there.
That's
And
good.
then I'm gonna stop. Goodness gracious, that's good. I'm a dessert guy. All right. Date night. I gotta save room for date night. We're not that far away from it. Holy cow.
Save space, Jamie.
Miches.
Yes.
Legacy.
Yes.
Is this your... Do you see yourself paying attention to much else in the next 10 years other than that?
As far as
This is a big
development,
vision.
yeah.
No, it's a big vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have a vision beyond that vision?
To travel with my kids and with my little guy playing soccer. No, I think other things. To me, this is like the ultimate as far as development project. Actually, the reason we're selling some of our other land lots that we have in the area and projects is so that I can focus. And that's why I'm really surprised that people are interested in developing and having something that is
Really interesting people are interested in developing
yeah.
little insider stuff for the future. You'll
Yes.
look back and be like, that's what they were talking about. You just
Yes.
wait, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. Because here's the thing. There are people and groups that want to invest, but who's going to get the permits?
Right.
Who's going to do the architectural work? Who can they trust?
No.
You know, and with my projects, I'm willing to stay involved and help them all the way through. So if you're going to buy a project from me or buy a piece of land, you know, even from a consultation standpoint or how to get the permits done and all of that, we're willing to do that. But we have various pieces of land in Punta Cana that now it's like, you know what? I thought that those would come after some of our other projects, but with Miches, since it's such a big project, 305 acres is like, that's good. I'm good there because I want to also be involved with the commercial, to develop the commercial, to be a part of that. And I do have some of the other businesses like the hotel, like the clinic. We're looking to expand those businesses. So I don't see myself buying like some other piece of land to go and develop something. That's enough.
Unless the right opportunity comes along.
Or unless I grow some extra arms or grow an extra brain.
I mean, you never say never, but I get you, right? Like you're seeing like, no, there's a lot here. There's a big focus there.
There's so much.
And it integrates all of your worlds. Like there's a veterans component that'll be present in Legacy. You have the VCI, obviously the clinic and everything. That's a big thing that you've been working on.
Yes.
Development in general, right? The ability to develop that land and then hand it off to these individual owners to develop their property and manage the HOA.
Yes.
There's a lot there.
Yeah, there is. And there's going to be plenty enough. Yeah. And I'm building the team. I'm working with really good people. That's how I've been able to grow the businesses that I have, is working with really good people. Yeah. And then some of it's homegrown.
Right.
Like the niece, who is family and very smart. And in the States, like, what the hell am I like making cookies?
Right.
Like, there's a lot of talent out there. If people are out there and you can't figure out what to do, there could be an opportunity to come international, to plug into some growth in businesses that are here that are looking for good talent.
I love this.
But you're not in Kansas. You cannot demand wages that really you can't get in the United States right now. So like, let's get real. You know, maybe you need to, like in life with everything, take a little step back in order to take that leap forward. And many people need to think about that. You know, sometimes maybe you do need to think about the long game and being in the game and being able to make money in the future. So if you may make a little bit less now to build a bridge for the future, then I would definitely recommend that.
Especially if you're like these kids, young, single, without kids themselves, without a husband or a wife, all of that.
She's learning. What she's learning is going to be great. I mean, she lives with me. I'm happy about that. You know, she hangs out with my daughter. It's family. So it works out. But I think that in the future that people can, especially people who may be looking for a transition in the future, get plugged into something really good that's growing, that's positive, and go in it for the long haul.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. We got to rate this food. Your favorite. So we started, just to refresh, we started with tacos, beef and shrimp. Then we went to this amazing dish of petite sirloin with shrimp on a skewer. You had vegetables, I had fries, culminating with this chocolate tres leche, which I'm going to have one more bite of it now that I'm staring at it. What would you say if you said to somebody, you go to Terra Negra and you had to have one of these things, what would you tell them they need to have?
The espresso coffee.
I forgot about that.
That is delicious.
Non-liquid.
Bailey's espresso. Oh my goodness. Let's see. That is hard. The steak was good. The veggies were good.
That's yours?
Oh, yeah.
Tacos for me. This was good.
The tacos were good too.
Tacos were really good. I enjoyed them. If I had to say, come here and get something, I would say get the tacos.
Yes.
She says get the steak and shrimp skewer.
Yes.
But I got to tell you, whatever you do, end it with this, and apparently on the side have that. So there you go. Anything you want to know about Cheryl, we'll put links below. If you're interested in Miches, the Legacy Project there's a link below. If you're interested in Boardwalk, Cortecito, Maple Switch, we were talking about again. Links below for any trusted partner. Check out the Inner Circle as well. And on that note, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you. Appreciate you.